Away from the steel body cars from a couple of years ago. There's a little bump draft.
A little bump draft by Willie Mullins. Willie tries to get to the inside.
We got a car that goes. Michael Self. Problems for the defending champion. Caution is out. So I believe Mullins also off of the pace. Cars that were running 6th and 8th. Didn't mean to interrupt, Phil.
That's all right. We see these guys bump drafting, trying to get an advantage. They were trying to keep that outside line damage. Let's see what happens. We saw Willie, a little bit of bump drafting, and he got to 25 of Self.
Oh my!
Out of shape, and then when Michael came back down to the inside, Willie had already, the momentum pushed his nose up into there and got into him, and around he went. There's certainly no intent there, but that's where see the little bit of a gap in front of the 25. Willie was trying to close that gap up by pushing Michael Self. It didn't work out. All 4 tires up off the ground. Great job by these 5-star bodies with the roof flaps deploying to keep that car on the ground.
That has got to be an unsettling feeling. Being turned, going backwards, having all 4 wheels. One more look at it.
See, Michael's right against the double yellow line, but this 2nd or 3rd bump is going to get him out of shape.
He's going to slide up, and that's all it takes.
Very fortunate that car stayed on the ground, but a lot of damage to that Sinclair car.
Let's take a look from the 18 car, Riley Herbst.
He's right behind the 54 of Natalie Decker. Just barely backed out of the throttle there. The Juilliard School. She's a singer and actress, so a lot of talent in that family.
Yeah, we got a big wreck off of
big wreck.
That's Eric Caudell. A team that had an unbelievable amount of work getting that 2-car put together. Eric crossing over 18 states in 10 days. The team had that
warmed up that you have an issue.
Yeah,
this is going to be contact.
There you go.
That's going to be. I think
just
being
got
run over.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a heavy impact.
Yeah.
No fault of his own, but just it's hard to see. You wave off, you try and do everything you can. When they didn't have to make green flag stops.
22 out of shape. That's Connor Hall out of Hampton, Virginia, who did a good job controlling that car.
That right rear. Oh, look at
the big time damage. Yep, that's J.J. Pack out of Haymarket, Virginia.
Also the 20.
It's hard for everybody else to stay calm and not run into each other as well.
22 on the inside of the 28. Let's see if we can figure out what happened to the Marlowe Yachts machine.
I'm thinking that right rear tire. You see the sparks
too. Quick. Yep.
I think that right rear tire went down on that car. You see the left rear tire is up. Looks like the right rear is already down.
All the time. The letters are gone. He was already going for a ride at that point. It looks like there's a little damage on the right rear quarter, like he might have gotten into somebody a little bit earlier, or somebody might have gotten into him before that.
How about the job Grant Quinlan does in that 30 car to avoid him, as well as Gustine in the 32. Let's see if the aftermath. We see what, they're going to bunch up over there. J.J. Pack moves to the outside and gets turned into the outside wall by Derek Lancaster in the 29. Nice job by Leilani Moonter getting out of the way, but they just run out of space right here. J.J. Pack was trying to give him room, squeeze the 29 into the outside wall.
Never driven a race car, but I assume that is the tendency.
Everybody was being aware. It's just there was a car on the outside, and you run into him, and it just hurt several people. I don't really know what happened to Paul Williamson. We didn't really get to see that.
Look from all of the onboards. Gustine a moment ago. Leilani Moonter right there.
Leilani doing a great job avoiding that incident.
That slide, that is unreal to me. I mean, to be able to keep it.
And that's at 180 some miles an hour,
right,
Chris.
And keep it out of all the other traffic.
Laps to go here at the Lucas Oil 200, driven by General Tire. A big-time pileup. About a second. Brandon McReynolds is 2.3 seconds back as we've got one turned around. It's Thad Moffitt in the 46.
There was another car or two involved in that incident. Looks like Thad's going to get the worst of it.
That coming off of turn 4. See if we can figure out what happened. 46 running along by himself, gets a little wiggly.
That looks like a tire.
Looks like maybe a right rear tire. At least
maybe it smells like a tire, right?
Without
the General Tire profile.
Right rear tire was down on that car, and the 11 of Jason White came along with nowhere to go, ran into the outside wall trying to avoid him. But another right rear tire issue here for Thad Moffitt.
Just along for the ride at that point. Yeah. Did a really good job saving it as long as he did.
There was Jason just trying to keep from running into Thad and ran into the outside wall, but
They are making headway.
This is going to get interesting. Inside of 2 to go. Hold on. Here we go.
another situation where the pushing went wrong.
They were being so aggressive, and it was working. It really was. It's just such a fine line. And with these cars, when the bumpers don't match up perfect, they lift. And as soon as it lifts up and you don't give them time to correct it, you just run into bad situation, and that's unfortunate. They were coming, man.
He gets to race again tomorrow night at New Smyrna in the K&N East Series.
Let's see what came first. Well, a lot of things happened
It was
at
just
the
the
exact
bumping.
right time.
Just
Yep.
bumping. Todd Gillen's trying to help Brandon McReynolds. He wasn't trying to turn him around. He was trying to help him. And unfortunately, Brett Holmes, who did an outstanding job running in the 3rd position all day long, and he ends up getting taken out as well.
There's what we're talking about. Getting close. I'm not saying locking bumpers, but I'm saying a little shoving going on.
You can see a gap just a little bit and come back and get that impact. Well, it's also hard because when you do that, it also creates that moment where it lifts the back tires off the ground a little bit.
Gilliland able to get through this, by the way, now being scored in the 3rd spot.
Yeah, Natalie Decker also. Grant Quinlan getting by.
Sean Core.
Hard contact there between the 32 of Gus Dean and the 28 of Brandon. See the 32 on the outside. He might have got a little bit of a bump as well. And then he made contact with the 28. He had already gotten to the outside wall after a little bit of contact as they were trying to avoid that incident.
Custody carrying our General Tire on board. You ride along with him.
That's the driver's view, though, right there. You were seeing the back of a spoiler. You have no clue anything's going on until you hear it on the radio. By the time they can communicate that and tell you need to be checking up, a lot of times it is too late. You're already wrecking or you're already running in the back of somebody. So, not much different you can do in those situations.
On board the What the Health onboard camera, Leilani Munter.
She sees the smoke.
Did an excellent job getting through it.
I think she might have had a little bit of contact. Looked like the 52 of Tyler Dipple was the closest car to her. They made a little bit of contact after they got